Minna de Honkoku is an online learning and transcription platform created by the Kyoto University Ancient Earthquake Study Group in collaboration with the Tokyo University Earthquake Research Institute. It is a platform based on three fundamental concepts: learning, collaboration, and transcription that come together to create a project for the transcription of ancient Japanese texts related to earthquakes. By learning how to read the ancient Japanese script called kuzushiji, new users are able to come on board and collaborate with existing experienced transcribers of these kinds of texts, increasing the number of total users available to work on the overall transcription project. The transcriptions that this project performs in collaboration with its users can be used by earthquake scientists to improve and further their research. Here we can see the Minna de Honkoku dashboard. It has three main sections, and on the left is further divided into three subsections. The first subsection is an introduction subsection. Next, we have a transcription subsection, and then finally a learning subsection. To begin with, let's take a look at the learning subsection, since this is what will greet new users to the platform. If we click on this Learn tab, or Manabu, we can see that it opens up a new central tab and a small subsection on the right that shows the user's profile and their progress in contributing to the project. In the center, we can see the main learning function, and it has within it, to begin with, a introduction section. And then next, it has a section for studying hentai gana, which are a form of kuzushiji. And then finally, a section for studying cursive kanji, which are another form of kuzushiji. So, to begin with, let's take a look at this introduction function. Here we can see that the project mascot, Shimimaru, describes to new users what exactly kuzushiji are. There are some pictures, and the mascot emotes in order to help give the reader a sense of what they're looking at and what it means. After going through these introduction videos, or this introduction interface, the user can continue on to study hentai gana. For example, here we have the character for and various examples of how it is found in texts that use kuzushiji. So on the right, we can see isolated examples, and on the left, we can see examples in context. And once the user has studied these examples, they can click here to begin a test. Here, the user can select a difficulty level and choose a test to review what they've learned. And so in this test dialog, you can see that there is an example from a manuscript of kuzushiji that the reader or the user will try to transcribe. And they're able to answer here in this text box or select one of these non-standard kana, which their normal keyboard input can't easily include. And depending on what the user's choice is, they will receive different feedback from the program's mascot character. Minna de Honkoku's learning functions are also available on iOS and Android through the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, respectively. Looking at the app version of the learning function, we can see that it has all of the main features of the web platform. This is true of both the iOS version and the Android version. However, it is important to note that nothing outside of the learning functions is provided by the app. Those functions, such as transcription, are only available in the web version. Once a new user has gained a certain level of confidence with their transcription abilities, they can move on from the learning function to the transcription function proper. In the transcription function, we can first find a number of transcription guidelines. These include hints on syntax and input, but are, of course, only useful to people who are literate in Japanese and also to some degree in Kuzushiji. But to move on from the guidelines, which are available online in English, we can see the actual transcription interface. If we look at stage 1 of the project, we can see that nothing is displayed. However, if we click here on the works that have already been transcribed, or the finished works, we can see that the project has actually accomplished a number of transcriptions. And the ones that have been completed are marked here with a stamp-like image that shows that they are finished. However, if we uncheck this and move on to stage 3, we can see that there is work still to be done. And if we click on one of these works, we can see the state of the work in progress of transcription on the left and the image that is being transcribed on the right. So one useful feature about this right-hand side image display is that it features a very fluid and detailed display of the image to be transcribed. You can see that there's very little lag or frustration causing UI problems here. So very usable for the transcriber. On the left, you can see the overview of the work in progress, as I said, but also note that some of its features are visible, such as highlighting and also comments, which are marked in red. So here is the transcription, or sorry, the overview tab. But we can also move on to the input tab, where we can see that there is a special syntax that is used for inputting different kinds of transcriptions. So if we look here at the title, we can see that this section here is in parentheses. But if we move to the overview, we can see that it has been converted into furigana by the program. So this kind of syntax is used for transcription input, and there are some examples of how to do that here in this tab. In the middle, you can find a note tab. This is used for the transcription process and sharing of ideas between users as they work collaboratively on the transcription. And also a work history or edit history that is visible for the document. And users can annotate the edits that they made for others to review. Well, the input tab here allows us to see the input syntax in order to actually start to input new transcriptions. we have to go over and click on this red Start Transcription button. And we get a brief description of how to use the transcription function by the mascot character. You can go ahead and do this. And now this text becomes editable. And there are some useful functions for particular forms of transcription that become available in this hamburger menu at the bottom left of the screen. But of course, we don't want my terrible transcription efforts here to be included in the final work, and so we are going to choose to discard changes. And we have now reverted back to the previous version of the transcription. A final aspect of the transcription function is the favorites. As you can see here, there is a list of documents I've favorited, including this one that's already been finished. And if we go back to the transcription function, we can see that there is a highlighted star here. So I can remove or include this document as one of my favorited documents. And if I remove it, you can see that it is now gone and my favorites are empty. So this, of course, is just useful for tracking projects or documents that the user would like to work on in the future. And on the right-hand side, you can see that there is a work history tab, but of course I don't have any contributions to the project, so there is nothing displayed here. Aside from transcription itself, there's also a forum included in the platform that is useful for discussing both the progress of the project and particular works that members are involved in. The forum posts are sorted, much like many other forums, in posting order, order of recently updated, and also order of popularity. So you can click on a post and you can see here that much like the connect function in the learning section, there are posts by users, replies, just like you might see on Facebook, and also the sort of kudos system is still in play here in order to rate up comments that are considered useful to the project, or as a way for people to show their support for other users and their ideas, even if they don't want to make a post themselves. So that covers all of the main functions of Minna de Honkoku as a platform. As we've seen, it is a platform for learning, a platform for transcription, and a platform also for collaboration. By combining these things, the project has successfully brought on new learners of Kuzushiji and new contributors to transcription efforts for earthquake history in Japan. This is obvious if we just go and take a look at all of the documents that have been transcribed since the project's beginning. Thank you for watching this video, and feel free to comment in the comments section below.